At the moment I'm putting the stud walling in. I've got these two bits up here and I'll be putting the wall on there, and I'll be putting some more stud walling there, and the door entrance will go just in there, and this bit in here will be the bathroom area. So it's coming along quite well. Step back. Yep. Well, I just finished all the stud walling over here. This is going to be for the bathroom area, and I'm going to put a sliding door on there. So we're going to have a sliding door on there, and I'll have the log rolls on this side, plain boarding on the inside, and tiling half the way up. And on that side there will be a shower. So yeah, quite pleased with it. Not looking too bad at all. It's not taking that long either, so the time's still finished, and it should look pretty good. Hey, that's it for now.
And allow the contact which residents who, at the moment, quite frankly, are trapped inside the care homes. We haven't had mass testing until now. Is that the kind of testing you think that could unlock this? Absolutely. I mean, it's crucial that we have a system whereby designated and then with that visitor they are regularly tested, and therefore they're allowed more. Digitally excluded, either because they're financially excluded, because their language might be an issue, or because our client group, we deal with a lot of
guidelines accompanying the new restrictions said universities and adult education settings should increase levels of online learning. Michelle Butler stressed the need for represents the institutes themselves, both declined. But Universities UK sent a statement.
At all times, universities have followed guidelines and advised local taking care of the physical and emotional well-being of students by providing access to teaching, mental health support, laundry and financial support.
Circe by Madeline Miller, which is published by Bloomsbury. If you like hundreds more book suggestions from guests as various as Carlo Rovelli, Mick Heron, Scarlett, online. And if you've read a book we discuss here, do join the conversation about it via our book club on Instagram. And follow us at all one word, A Good Read BBC. My guests, Stephen Khan and David Mitchell.
Thank you very much.
And to you, as ever. Gilbert's and producer.
Step inside a masterpiece. Let's take a closer look.
This episode is a temper tantrum. Others an attempt to.
Well, that's the end wall done. I just got to put a couple of beams going down like that, and but it's pretty much done now. So quite pleased with that. Yeah, that looks quite a lot better with one coming down on the join. Yep. And I think I'll do another one down the middle there, like that. And the same on there. But by all accounts, it's now finished, that end wall. And then I'll go over to here. I'm at the moment drilling holes behind the battens, ready to put the cable in behind the half log roll I'm using, so I can put plugs in, because I don't like seeing cables everywhere. So I'm putting the cables behind, as you will see. And then when I put all the battens up, all the cabling will be behind the half log roll, so you won't see no wiring, and all the cables are going to be heading to the main consumer box, which I'm going to put in there. So today I'm going to be mainly concentrating on the electrics.
Police officers first. Think about what they have to do. Think about what people they deal with. Think about the practicality of wearing PPE. Think about the consequences of having many PCs sick. I think we're going to return to this subject. It is a difficult one to discuss. But let's talk about exams now, because
Well, at the moment I'm sticking the cables behind the half log rolls, and this cable here is going to be for some wall lights, which I'm going to put on here. I've got the wire coming through there. It's the first plug that's going to go there. I'll be splitting the wire down there and having another plug there. The cable will then go onto the terminal box, the consumer unit bit where I'm going to put there. And on the top here is going to be a work surface and a small sink. So as you can see, I just don't want to see no cables. So I've tested all the cables before I put the cables behind. So when I actually do all the wiring up, there should be no problems. We hope. But as you can see, yeah, it's coming along all right. Slowly but surely getting. That's all for today. I've nearly got that side done. I've run out of screws now, so I can't really do anymore. The cabling is all ready for the switches to go on the wall. This top piece of cable in here is going to be for the wall lights, but they've not arrived yet. And over here I'll be having a little sink and a little work surface. So all in all, it's not going too bad. Still got a long way to go yet. And of course, in here I've got all the plumbing to do. The shower, sink there, and a toilet down that way. And I've got to do some more lighting on there too. So still quite a bit of work to do. But it's going okay.
Working to put the right community-based support in place. And there will be a long-term
Sam, who's also a full-time English student at the University of Stirling, started writing poetry.
There's a nice mum poetry community. I've met tons of really amazing people and new friends online. You know, that I do Zoom calls with, that we do poetry readings together, we chat, and you know, once the pandemic's over, I'll be able to go and meet in person, and that kind of helps the sort of feelings of isolation and loneliness.
Mummy! Hello, Bridget. Are you okay? Are you okay, Mummy? Mazzy is 29 and lives in East London. She gave birth to her first child, a daughter, in April. She's also left feeling isolated.
I did feel quite neglected, very vulnerable during those first 8 weeks. Maybe even a sense of abandonment and definitely loneliness. Those were the recurring themes of the feelings I was going through, and that I imagine a lot of other lockdown mums felt.
Like Samantha, Nazia found a community online which helped her feel less lonely.
I actually decided to start a mummy blog towards the end of July called The Joys of Being Mum on Instagram, and I found it to be a really positive experience in connecting with other mums out there. So using social media has really helped in terms of finding virtual mum friends, developing that support network.
Office on January 20th, but I have the feeling that what he's trying to do is lay the foundations for a continuing Trumpist political movement after the election. And he wants to be able to say that he fought, and he wants to be able to say that the elections were rigged and things like that. So I think there's a little more tactics behind it rather than talking about mental state.
Right, method to the madness, so to speak. Let's talk about the foreign policy issues, and let's start narrow. The drawdown of troops in Iraq and particularly in Afghanistan, which seems to be worrying Republicans, allies, quite a few people, the speed of this and what's left, and whether there's a stability issue about the rapid drawdown.
It's interesting because both political parties have this isolationist / populist element that looks at a war that has gone on for 20 years and says we want to get out. And the political leaders want to be responsive to that because it works politically to do so. And it is worrying because as you imply in your question, and as I'm sure former Secretary of Defense Esper was saying, there are consequences to doing that. Consequences on the ground for U.S. interests, for Afghanistani interests, for human rights, and you can't just drive down without matching up what the mission is you're trying to accomplish and the capacity to accomplish it.
Is it a problem that there's not really a transition process between the old president and the new at the moment? In order for Trump to maintain his claim to the crown, he is not really bringing Joe Biden into the intelligence briefing, is not discussing these kinds of things. Would you expect at this point there to be a conversation about whether this is a good idea?
Well, yes, there should be a orderly transition. I do have to say, I think the consequences of not having that, which is what we face right now, are not as dire as maybe they are portrayed to be. When you think about past transitions that were orderly, they nonetheless resulted in a high degree of abrupt change and abrupt turnover of ideas, of people, briefing papers, and I've written many of these.
The suggestion was raised that might have been while the US wasn't watching as closely as it would otherwise be. Is that a point of danger for the world at this stage?
It is, although I would link it to more than just the US presidential transition. I think coronavirus has had that effect where authoritarian states have been in a stronger position and more willing to act while the West has been shut down and distracted and will be emerging from coronavirus with massive public debt. We've seen a number of things happen already.
Yep, John.
This absorption of Hong Kong started much earlier than during this president.
As a prayer in paint, so creating a work of art that will be venerated by the faithful. It's not just you are choosing Lord Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy upon us, amen. Glory to you, O God, glory to you. Like a lot of church is really living the whole life of the church, so it's not just an act of saying a prayer and then painting. Each day reading the scriptures and we try to pray the whole time, our souls, our hearts, and our spirits. Guide the hands of your unworthy servant, so that I may worthily and perfectly portray your icon. And there are particular prayers designed by philanthropists upon the prayer before painting an icon. My sins and the sins of those who all venerate these icons.
For the century, the impression that landscape makes on you as a child, that your senses are just coming to awaken.
It's such a lovely point, and I've never really heard it articulated like that before, and it actually made me feel quite jealous, because maybe we need to move to the countryside.
I do think that point about the first countryside or the place you call home, you're always constantly trying to find it in other places. It's so fascinating. I think every time we go to France, you always say, oh, you know, this is my favourite landscape, and then quite often you see it in other parts of the world and you recall it. And I think during lockdown, when we've all been thinking about the places we love that possibly we haven't been able to get back to recently, we've really got nostalgic about those landscapes, possibly of our childhoods that we love.
Well, I needed France, because otherwise I'd have been looking wrongly everywhere.
And not quite as romantic as going right back to the country.
It's a really brilliant show. I was hooked. So much so that I
sort you see on Strictly, all clean kicks and short flicks, smooth transitions, fake tan. He was the sort who sweated it out on the sticky dance floor.
Well, I've got the two wall lights working. I haven't got the shades on yet because I don't want to break them. So yeah, looking alright. This lamp, that's just what I'm using for working on, but this is the main wall lights, and I've got the glass shades to go on there, but not just yet. And I'm at the moment building a small work surface over here, and I'll be putting the electrical box underneath, and there I'm going to be having a sink installed. So as you can see, it's taking shape.
For being videos online documenting the same conflict, but many people here in the UK and around the world fundamentally disagree about whether those videos are real or whether they're part of giant international. At the heart of the disagreement is the story.
These are a couple of rustic boards I'm going to use for a work surface. I'm going to put the sink in here. But they're slightly uneven, so I'm just sort of smoothing them up a little bit. Leveling them up. Look nice when they're all varnished, sanded down.
It was November 2019, and James and Emma were looking at ideas for new humanitarian projects.
We should have a right to consider him as a French prisoner, and as such to give him up to the French government. They think, likewise, consider him as a rebel, and to deal with him accordingly.
Oh, he was a warrior, a warrior and the terrier, Jean-Francois. Oh, he had the
They competed for his favor, and violated him to let him in arms, made his way around the ship. His entourage, meanwhile,
Captain Midland, may I approach you on your sacred quarterdeck?
had by all means. Not to any qualities of my own, but I believe the thought influence London.
We are all so impressed by the fashion in which the British keep their ships. They have constructed two dear little sofas out of canvas-covered flags for Madame Montalon.
Increasingly, people buy over the internet, and I think if there's one thing that has really changed in the last sort of 7 months or so, it's the extent to which we all rely on online purchases. So many more people do their shopping online now. Now, if you are a business in the high street and you are still having to carry this very heavy business rate burden, then clearly there is that puts you at a disadvantage.
Yes, he didn't extend that in any way, Heather, did he? And let me just read you this email I've had from David Parr. He and his partner both have small businesses. They've not been eligible for any of these grants for various reasons, partly because they're directors, partly because of other things. And his partner's a hairdresser, he also has a business. And he says, we would like a bit more help. We'd like an extension of this to help us, to help these. He says, yes, there's about 1 million small businesses run by their own directors.
So yeah, that's why I was amused by your motorbike photo and your all the random pictures.
Yes, so why did you decide to pick me in that sense?
I thought you were like very attractive, but also you were very well spoken and small words that we were allowed to put down.
Yeah, with my friends all the time, and we laugh about it all the time, even though nobody understands what we're talking about.
And the teachers taught them to do anything like that. They will naturally be drawn to create their own world and enjoy it with their friends.
Even though it's tough to get the same physical space as the children, you don't really know what they're doing. There's a parallel world layered on the playground, only children can see, with a terrain that only they can see, and rules that only they hold sacred. I never encountered anyone tough in the playground in England after we left Hong Kong, but another Chinese game, Summerhouse, revealed the game had crossed the same oceans as we had. Have been fascinating teachers, folklorists, social scientists for over a century. This tape was recorded almost 50 years ago by the amateur folklorist.
What I'm doing here now is building a stand to put a small sink on. Instead of buying them, it's much easier just to build my own because it's made exactly to measure them. Shouldn't take long.
He's been leading research projects to digitize the OP's extensive archive, but his interest began long before
I was a teacher at a class in about 1986, I think. Joined to London, all the way back.
The tap goes on here, goes through the wood and into the sink.
Pressures that we add. We are seeing is that we have a lot more HGVs within Kent now than we did 24 hours ago. So the numbers were in the hundreds. Opening now of Manston airports. A lot of HGVs have gone there. So there's over 2,000, I think around 2,200 held there. And then you have some hundreds, over 600 between 20, and there will be others further back. So there are significant numbers. I think the key question is how we can achieve the kind of flow that was being talked about.
Just before we do, I mean, are there toilet facilities at Manston?
Welfare and health facilities. So I think that is something which that is in hand. I think there are a range of concerns, but there are probably
Because you say there are hundreds of lorries on the M50. How is it the case? We've had this experience so often. 48 hours after the project started.
My understanding is there are those particularly on certain stages of the M20. The contractors put in, but there are portaloos at a later stage there. So I think there will be. I mean, this is something which, as you say, we have experienced terribly in Yorkshire.
France is expected to ease its blanket ban on lorries and travellers entering from the UK this year
Job done.
on condition that drivers and passengers test negative for coronavirus. More than 40
What I do now, I run a tap through the wood there, all the piping underneath, and I'm going to relog all the side there. But yeah, it's alright. Not bad at all. Very happy with it.
Notice they should discourage non-essential journeys from the UK. Paris correspondent
too fixated on the idea that crosswords is going to keep your brain active and that it's a kind of use it or lose it, that actually maybe it's a much bigger range of things than that, not just crosswords.
Yeah. When I mentioned that doing crosswords is important for these patterns, physical activity is key, and I expect social activity is also very important.
2020 is a year when we've not been able to socialise so much, so it's been tricky and this won't be as good for our brains. How much damage will one year do? Things we can do.
I suspect that 1 year won't have a big effect. I think we'll be very and of course, we'll socialise to some extent through video conferencing, so I wouldn't be too worried about 1 year less social involvement than normal on our long-term health.
In older 50s and 60s, and throughout young adulthood and middle age tending to increase. And that tracks actually with peace and happiness as well.
What is it the 60-year-olds are so optimistic about, do you think? Are they looking forward to retirement and all of that?
Part of it, so you get two explanations. So basically, the first is that you tend to master life events, get better relationships. The other, networking connections, gaining skills and knowledge. Whereas by the time you're midlife, say when you're 50 and 60, you've passed that for the most part. So you start to realize that life is short, and then a lot of people come to the realization that they want to focus on things that make them happy. For some people that's retirement, other people that's spending time with things when you're older, partially makes you expect more.
Being to distinguish between what happens and what might happen due to what's going on in the world at different moments, which will be different for people at different ages. So I can imagine that maybe people who've just graduated at this moment during the pandemic, when people are losing their jobs, may be feeling a little less optimistic about the future than somebody might have done a couple of years ago graduating in the same situation. So I'm well
now started to do a little bit of the tiling. I'm going to go into the bathroom area in a little while, but just want to do this little bit first.
Things that babies would need, so nappies and clothes and things like that. But also in the shop there were some things that the children would be really tempted with. So there was some chocolates and a packet of sweets. So I carefully mounted the items for the babies that would add up to 10. And I priced the items of the chocolate and the...
I'm not using spacers here. I've got some spacers, some proper spacers, but they're a little bit thinner than I would have liked. So I'm using some matchsticks, which make brilliant spacers when you're doing tiling.
And one little boy decided that he wanted to buy the sweets, and then we quite quickly realised that we ran out of money because we couldn't buy the nappies because we'd run out of money. So we had lots of discussion about what's really important, what things do we have as a treat and what things do we really need. And the children were able to kind of talk about that as 3, 4 and 5-year-olds, and they realised that actually they needed to take the sweets back to the shop.
1957.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And he met
That's the first lot
at some
done.
ska and reggae night in Shoreditch.
Got to put some towels along there too when I
So she was like, oh, he's going to
cover
start
that
selling
sink properly
records,
in.
he's going to maybe run his own mechanic shop and all this kind of stuff. But he, man, like, I think alcohol...
There must always be a sheepdog who knows the way home better than any bird, runs free and winds up in Wasdale, haunting the for miles, laughing at Guinness spills, crunching pork scratchings and walkers by the lip of the lit fire, or laughing at from a set-down plate under the table between the hiker's boots. The waterproof tourists, bright-eyed, slim from her work, but she stirs at the slightest quiver. She takes her back to you, stone and purpose, knowing her left to cross. Even when the planet learns to drown us, the sky ruins itself in Patterdale and Langdale, the trees swept out.
People to be able to lower him into the ground. So now 9 days on there, they had 29 minutes and 59 seconds before they were moved on because another family were coming to bury their loved one. God bless her, my mother, who was really ill at the time, it broke her heart, and shortly afterwards she passed away too.
You mentioned that, according to Islamic tradition, you should bury a loved one within 24 hours. You weren't able to do that. What did that say to you about the
opportunity to wash his body, but we were doing it completely PPE. You know, it was quite an extraordinary occasion. It should have been more emotional than it was, but it literally became much more of an exercise in hygiene rather than anything else.
You've mentioned that there were obviously hundreds of others.
I think what it was the same day, but we couldn't, you know, again, one of the other traditions you had is that you all meet together, and generally hundreds of people would meet in the same room or same rooms to talk about that individual on their passing. We couldn't do that, but it was a real sense of solidarity, I think, which made it so much easier. But that said, to put it bluntly, I don't think any of us have really started mourning.
You mentioned that you've only started the grieving process. What elements do you think are important in helping you move on from where you are today?
Strangely, because my mother we were able to fulfill her wish, so she could be buried next to my father in Pakistan. I feel like we've got some sense of closure in relation to my mother, none in relation to my brother. He is buried where he didn't want to be buried, and we weren't able to really.
I'm currently threading the cables through, ready to put the shower on this side wall here. And the cables are going to come here and then break down to the main box. You want to put the cables and all the piping behind the wall before I do the tiling and all that. So I need to get all this up and running first before I start putting the piping and everything else in. Got a lot of hailstones outside there at the moment, as you can hear all the bad weather going on. Yeah, enough. Shower. Lock the cable. I'm making the hole in the floor now for the shower base to go in. I'm going to tidy it up a little bit. This bit goes on the shower tray and goes through there. Once on the shower tray, and this bit goes underneath the cabin floor, and then it just locks in together like that. And then you put the outlet drain pipe on there. All done. I've just bought this. It's a push fit tap adapter. So you know, you just put it on there like that, and there you go. I can tool my piping outside with the 15mm push fit, and I don't have to cut any pipes in the house. So I'm just going to run it down there and into my trough, which I'm digging. But what I'm actually doing here now is digging a trench, and in this little trench thing I've got going on, I'm going to be having all the pipe work put in, the electric cables, the water pipes to the cabin, and the sewage pipes, the outlet pipes, coming all the way back down to the sewage system here. Quite a lot of work, but one way to keep warm. Anyway, I'll be able to crack on.
funny the things last year highlighted. Oh, it's wild, man. I thought it'd be moving quicker. I thought it'd be caught up by now, you know? I need to know it's ready. Always on the verge of tears, it seems, these days. Been happening a lot recently, actually. Just me bawling by myself. It's the hormones, you see. Well, that's what I'm saying anyway. And it's making me think about the future, you know? Who'd want to be born into this emptiness? It's been hard, all this separation, innit? This isolation. It really has been. Even in this house with 4 of us basically living on top of each other, I feel alone. Sometimes. Often.
And in Belfast, BBC correspondent John Campbell pops to the shops.
No almond milk, some frozen pizzas aren't available, some ready meals, some meats, orange juice, apple juice, and there are little notes on the shelves to say they're expected to be
I am at the moment getting the walls ready to put the boarding up. So this is going to be the shower area. Once I put the boarding up, I'm going to put all the pipes and all the cables behind there, ready to put the tray down. You'll see in a while. I'm just using offcuts here, so you won't see it behind the boarding anyway. So I don't like to waste any wood. Wood's very expensive now, so you don't see none of the offcuts. Well, I've laid the shower tray down now, and I've done all the posts on the side ready for the boarding to go up, and then of course the tiles. But the next thing I'm going to be doing is laying the insert and putting the pipes in underneath. And I've got some big sheets of boarding to put up. The boarding goes on there all the way up the top, of course, big boarding, and then the tiles go onto that, and then silicone seal it and all that. But before that, I've got to drill a little hole to put the copper pipe in. So that's going to go down there, and I'll be joining all the water up soon. So the piping will go there. Here's my electrical cable, 32 amp cable, and of course the shower will be going just there. So all the piping and the wiring will all be behind the boards and the tiling. It's coming along now. I'm quite happy with the way the little bathroom area is coming along. But once I've got the shower bit sorted, then I'm going to be doing the toilet and the macerator. And all the wastes is all going to be piped, putting piping going all the way along down there, which I will be burying once it's all up and done, and going down into the sewage. I've got the main power cable there, which is also going down the hole. So in this little trough I've dug outside, there's going to be the outlet pipe going to the sewage. There'll be fresh water coming into the cabin, and the power cable is all going down the same trench. And of course I'll be making sure everything's working up and running properly before I refill it back in. But yeah, at the moment it's all going quite well. Got to crack on with cutting the big boards now, and I've got to do something like that ceiling and all, and I've got to re-put the plugs back on, because when I first put the plugs on there, that was before I put the tiling on, because I had to get the electrics up and running. But now I've had to drill through the tiles with the power cables coming through, and I've got to put the plugs back on, so then I'll have my lighting and all that back in here, but of course all disconnected at the moment. But I'm waiting for the tiles to be properly set and, you know, all the stuff behind it nice and dry, because if you go drilling tiles that have recently been put up, they're liable to crack. So I'll wait a day, maybe two, for it's a little bit more harder. I've got some very fine pointed masonry drills, so I shouldn't have any problem drilling through them. But if I get any cracks, I'll be using some no more nails on the back of them. But these are the things I've got to put back up on there. These, they've got to go back on. And this one here, this one is for the macerator, which is going down there. I'm just marking out the plug now, ready to drill the holes to put the switches back on. It's important to get it level, so nice and level. No, I'll try and drill it. I'm using a fine point on that, so it doesn't, there's much chance of splitting the tiles. So just move the cables over, so you don't hit the cables. Cables are going that way. Just gently from there. That one. Be careful that they can bust the cables. That one. And the last one. So far, so good. A little bit out that one. Didn't break the tiles, so now I'm going to wire it back up. Right, go on and see if it's going to come on. Switch. Ooh, we have light. We have light. Now let's see if this one's working. Yep, that one's come on too. So that's all ready for the macerator. And the one on the wall's all done. Job done. I'm at the moment, I'm just marking out on the board before I put it down where the shower's going to go, because I've got to cut the holes in the back, so where I'm going to put the water pipes and where the electric cables are going to be coming in. So I've got to get all that sorted now, and should be up and running soon. When I've done that and I've cut the holes, I will be fixing the boards on both sides and then starting the tiling, and then the shower will be all ready to connect up with the electrics and with the water. I'll have to make the mark first so I know roughly where I'm going to put it. That looks pretty good to me, it's a nice height. Put it on that side like that. That looks pretty good. And the rail will go there. So, right at the bottom here, it's the electric area. And that's the maybe where the water pipe's gonna come in. So there's your earth wire, your live and your negative. Plenty of cable to go around the back. Yep. Right, let's get that cut out. I am at the moment just cutting a piece of pipe, a bit of copper pipe ready to connect to the shower. It's not my normal pipe cutter, this one, so you just do it slightly first, and then you slowly turn it round, and as you're just turning it round, you tighten it a little bit more, and that way you get a nice cut on it. It should just fall off in a minute, I hope. You just tighten it up a little bit each time you turn it. There you go, and there's a nice smooth cut ready to connect the connectors on. It's quite a nice cut, that one. Well, I'm now starting to put the board up. The cables are there ready to go into the shower. The water pipe's there, the connection's all ready to connect. Yeah. So yeah, it's all going good. I've got to cover all the cable up with the roof, and then when I've got the other panel in there, then I will start the tiling. So yeah, so far so good. I'm quite pleased with this though. It's, so yeah, I'm going to leave plenty of cable in here, because when people fit showers and then they have a new one, quite often they'll find out the electrician or the plumber, whoever done it before them, has never left enough cable. So I'll be making sure I've got plenty of cable, so if they ever have to cut it, they've still got plenty to use when they want to put another shower in. So yeah, it's very, very important, that is, I think. Right, let's crack on. I'm putting the final board up now before I start doing the tiling in the shower. Weather's horrible outside at the moment, so not going to be able to do much tile cutting. But yeah, get in there slowly. It shouldn't take that long to put the tiles up. Like I said, the only delay I'm going to have is going to be cutting the tiles because it's an outside job, and at the moment it's raining pretty heavy. I think it's doing that pretty much everywhere at the moment. Anyway, let's get on with this. I always use screws when I'm doing boarding. I always use screws for most things actually, because if you ever find you have to take something down or redo it, it's a lot easier just unscrewing it than pulling out nails where you damage the wood and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I always use screws when I'm doing this sort of work. Now.
Outside the United States, but the new Secretary for the Interior, charge of national parks and all that kind of thing, is going to be a Native American woman. That's an appointment of enormous significance, I think, to many Americans, and particularly in the West, and of course to the Native American population. It's going to look a very, very diverse administration. That is absolutely deliberate. The entire communications team in the White House, for example, they're all women. So you'll never see anybody at that famous White House podium that isn't a woman in the Biden era. So there's going to be an enormous visual and tonal shift. And I think what we'll hear from Biden today is that what he's going to do, apart from a flurry of activity with executive orders this evening and then some early legislation, which he'll hope to get some bipartisan support for, is that above all, he's going to change the language, the tone, and the demeanour of the presidency.
Barbara, tell us what's happening now. It looks like J-Lo has finished her spot.
She has indeed. She is walking off now, and we're now going to be getting the introduction, I believe, of the Chief Justice, John Roberts, who is going to be administering the oath of office for Joe Biden. He has administered the oath of office for Mr. Obama and for Mr. Trump as well. Just one more note about Kamala Harris, and that is that she's probably going to have quite a central role because she's going to need to be a tiebreaker in the Senate, since it is so closely tied. The majority is so slim.
Barbara, let's just hear what is happening on the stage there. Justice John Roberts coming in.
Followed by music of honors.
Chief Justice taking to the stand to lead the oath, with Joe Biden, who is taking a step up. John Roberts famously got his line wrong in 2009. They had to redo it the next day quietly to make sure that President Obama was actually president. But hopefully he won't make a mistake today.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear. I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully execute. That I will faithfully execute. The office of President of the United States. Office of President of the United States. And will, to the best of my ability, will to the best.
Well, as you can see, it's all coming along now, and the tiling, well, I'm slowly getting there. got to do the ceiling yet, but I will be using these to go all the way along the top. I'm going all the way along there, so get to the point where I hate all the cabling. But yeah, tiling's coming along all right now. I'm all ready for the shower when the tiles are all finished. I think it'll be another couple of days, I think, before I get all this finished. So I've got to finish all the gratting off and that. And also, what other thing have I got to do now? Yeah, that's it. Got to get all that finished. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Can't rush when you're doing tiling because they're big tiles I'm using, and you have to make sure, especially like the bottom ones, make sure they're all properly set before you start stacking. You know, I've had quite a bit of cutting to do, but you know, all in all, I'm really pleased where it's all taking shape. And when you're standing over here, I'm actually in the shower now. You can see how it's all taking shape. Like I said, I've still got the ceiling to do. I've got to do that bit up there, pull that up. The toilet and the macerator is going to go there, and I'm also going to have another little sink, tiny little sink there. So it's not, it doesn't have to be too big a bathroom. Like I said, it's only for a cabin, but it's okay. It's quite a nice size, really. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. Quite well. And it's a mess in there, but when it's all done and all emptied out, it's going to look nice. Still got a little bit of work to do, but I feel like I'm actually closing down on it all now. But yeah, so that's it.
Tries to compensate for the difficulties, it will be others that lose out.
I hate the feeling that you ostracize somebody because you're raising their I'm so good at that. You said in an interview with Jim Wilson, The Guardian, you said you felt pretty kind of almost sick with the idea. You said your son felt sick about using the editing. Almost insulting to readers for a newsroom to turn up and say the paper that you've been buying and giving your money to for a long time was completely wrong. You want to go about, as you said a minute ago, you want to go as far away
more effective there than it has been here. They've used, local NHS and local authority systems, and it's worked. The economic support packages they've put in place that have filled some of the gaps that are in the government's response, and they've just been
Just finishing off the ceiling part, the roof part of the shower, and yeah, I just got to do a bit of grading on the top there when I've finished all that, and then I'll wire the shower up, and then hopefully it'll all be up and running.
It's not a milestone that anybody would have wanted to see, and I'm going to an official funeral next week of a member of our local Labour Party who's died with COVID. To a lot of people, and I think it's wrong, that even though, of course, this has been very difficult, but I think it's wrong to suggest that the government did everything families who've lost loved ones. You've got to learn the lessons and be open about that.
We'll speak to Caroline in a second to respond to that, but July that you all cursed on the track record of the Welsh government. What about that short lockdown followed by the cases soaring before Sarah, do you want to take that on?
Oh my goodness, no. I mean, if you actually look at the figures and the independent research about the impact of our lockdown, it was borne out to be absolutely the right thing.
Just a quick update. As you can see, the shower is all tiled now, and making pretty good progress on the wall. Got to do this bit yet. Put a bit of boarding up there and tile that little piece there, but the actual shower is all tiled now. I've got to do a bit of grading right up the top where the ceiling meets the tiles, and as you can see I've done that side, and now I'm working down on that side of the roof. But all in all, yeah, I had to take the light glass off the front because I was having trouble getting my drill in there. So I put that back on and I finished the rest of the ceiling. But yeah, it's coming along okay. Now, and I've done this side up here, and I've got the cables through, ready to put the shower switch, the power switch, so you can turn it on and off when you want. So I'm getting pretty close now to connecting it all up. It's taken a bit longer than I anticipated, but getting there. But in here, it's pretty much all done now. Looks like a tip. But when it's all cleared, it will look fine. I decided to use timber on this little piece here instead of tiling. I think it looks okay actually. Use up all the offcuts as well. Yeah, that looks alright. Got the plug on here now, so I'm pretty much ready to turn on the shower, aren't I?
And there was a lot of criticism, the accusations that Russia was hasty, that it had been cutting corners, and then come up with stuff like this. First of all, it's published in the Lancet. Does that mean we can trust?
I've now connected the water pipe underneath, so I've got the tap. I've got to fix that on there. The water pipe's done, and I've just connected this up. This is going to be the water inlet pipe. Got to secure that yet. And here's the outlet pipe. I've got to tidy that one up a bit. So yeah, the plumbing's now coming along. So yep, it won't be that long now, and we'll be all finished. It's only going to have a cold water supply in here. So yeah. Pretty good connection. So there you go. It's coming along. I'm at the moment going to put this piece of stained sort of glass plastic, the sort of stuff you see in a cathedral, but it's only like a plastic sheeting. You won't notice it much in night time, but by tomorrow in the morning when the sun comes through, it will give you a really lovely effect. I'm only putting this up in the bathroom area, but I think it's going to look quite nice. You have to wet the back, which I've already done, and let's try and put it on now. See how it goes. Look at the middle. Use one of these to get all the air bubble and the excess water out. Go from the middle and work your way out. when the sun comes up tomorrow, you will see it'll look like you're in a cathedral. All the lovely light coming through this. It's like the stained glass, but it's only plastic. And it's quite cheap. I only paid a few quid for a big sheet of it. But I'm just going to try it out on here, see how it looks. And if I like it, I might actually stick it on some of my main house. I think that's it. But I'll play the video again in the morning so you can see how it looks with the light coming in from the outside. This one's all done. Yep, so we'll dried out that one. There you go. And this is the view from the outside, which I think looks pretty good. But it's going to look better in the morning when the sun comes through and you're on the inside. I've now connected the little elbow bit up there on the outlet pipe and put this little hole in here and had to thread that through and then tie that up on there. So it's coming along. I've got to put another isolation valve on there because I'm only having a cold fill. So you don't want it when because I've got a mixer tap on the top there. I don't want to have the water coming out from the pipe. So when I put the cold water on, so because it's got a feed for hot and cold, I'm gonna have to put an isolation valve on there so no water goes up that one when I turn on the mains water from here. Got about 3 centimeters on this bit, which actually goes into there. You push that right up. Do it nice and tight. Not too tight though, otherwise you'll break the thread. And there you go. And put a bit of putty in the bottom there, just to keep it nice and straight. So, we're ready to connect the water underneath and the drainage pipes underneath. We're just doing this sink first, then I'm going to crack on with the other sink in the bathroom and the shower, and I'll be connecting all the pipes underneath. So all the outlet pipes are connected and all the inlet pipes are connected, which is probably going to be the next thing we're going to be doing, which will also mean connecting the toilet and the macerator up. So that's it for now. Well, this is the isolation valve. I've already set it so no water can get in there, and I'm now connecting it to this pipe. The reason why I'm having to do this is because the tap I'm using is a mixer tap which lets in hot and cold water, and I'm only having a cold fill because it's only a cabin. So I'm just tightening this up. Yeah, that's nice and tight. So when I turn the mains water on, nothing is going to be able to come out of there. It's not going to flood all the floor. I'll tidy that up and put it on there somewhere, keep it nice and tidy. But that's it. I'm just about to attempt to fix the toilet up, but before I do so, I thought I would tell you about the macerator, which I'm about to fix to the back of the toilet. Now, there might be a lot of people that don't really know what a macerator is. I'm sure there's some that do, but there's going to be a few that don't. Basically, what it is, it's a device you fit at the back of the toilet, and you use it in places like basements or attics, and in places where you're not connected directly up to the sewage system. So what this basically does, when you flush the toilet, the stuff, all the waste goes into here. And this is electric driven, by the way, and it automatically comes on, and it sort of blends all the waste up, and it pumps the waist up to 100 meters. You can go, you know, go so much horizontal, so much vertical, and pumps all the stuff to the sewage system. And it really is handy for places like in a basement or in an attic where you're not directly connected up. It's a game changer because you can put toilets in places where you wouldn't normally have one, and it makes life a lot easier. So I'm going to try this out, get it all fixed up. It's going to take me a while to plumb it all in. You just put this on here, like, yeah, let's get the pipe here. You put the back of the toilet into there, then you connect these up, and I've got some clips where you tie them all up, and then bolt it on, and then when you flush the toilet, this will be plugged into the power socket I've got down there. Hopefully it'll all work, and if it don't, I've got problems. Okay, that's it for now. Well, I'm just about to lay the vinyl down on the floor just in the bathroom area before I put the toilet and the macerator in, and I've already cut the holes in the floor. That's for the water inlet pipe, and that's for the macerator outlet pipe. And so when I put the vinyl down there, I'll just cut around that, and it should make life a lot easier than trying to lay the vinyl when the toilet's already down. So I'll crack on with that right now. Well, I'm now going to lay this bit of vinyl down on the floor. It's quite nice, as you can see. I've already cut most of it to size, but I'm still going to have to trim it. But I've put on the floor in there, but in the bathroom, of course, a nice bit of vinyl. I think it should look nice. I've already pre-cut the holes in the floor, ready for the macerator and the water inlet pipes. So it's going to be a lot easier putting the vinyl down before I put the toilet down, because otherwise I'm going to have to cut all around it, and it's not going to be such a good finish. So it's far better to lay this stuff down before I put the toilet and the macerator down. Okay. But that's the vinyl down, and looks quite nice. Yeah, don't look too bad at all. Quite pleased with that. Might put a little bit of beading around the edges. Got to get some though. Always looks nice when you put a little bit of beading around the end, all around the sides and all that. But yeah, quite pleased with that. Yeah. Well, now I just got to find them holes I drilled in the floor and cut round them. Ready to put the pipes through. I'm going to put the insets in. I'm having to get all this bit done now before I start joining all the pipes underneath. So I've got to get this in place first. Just put that on there. It's only a very small basin, this one. It's, you know, it's just like a one, just like I said, just for the bathroom area. Put that on there. Pad on there, right? Right, that's quite tight. This is gonna just go in here like this. We're going to put the tap on now. There you go. I'm now putting the tap on, and it's very important to get the pipes screwed into the tap with the nut on it before you assemble it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to connect the pipes, and it's a really fiddly job, and you have to put the 2 feeds in there, because most taps you buy are hot and cold fill, so you have to have the 2 pipes, and it's really hard to get in there sometimes. But make sure you got the rubber on both sides, and then you just put that over there like that. You can see it's not easy videoing from my mobile phone. I'm trying to do this. But there you go. tidying it up for now. And hopefully I'll be connecting the water on that some point tomorrow with any luck. Need to get in there with not too tight. And there you go. One sink. I'll tighten that again later. It's like I said, it's only a small basin, this one, but it looks looking alright when it's all done. There you go. I'm just doing the finishing touches to the bathroom basin. I'm just going to do a bit of plumbing in here. I've managed to get the pipes. I've had to drill holes through the unit. So I've got the inlet water pipe here and the outlet, and here I've got the water feeds there. So I'll just get this on. Tighten that up on there. Nice and tight, not too tight. Then I have to move the basin over slightly to get the other piece in. Put that on there. Rubber's already in there. Put that bubble up. Stick it in there. Back a little bit. It's very hard to film this sort of thing when I'm doing all the filming on my own, but you can basically see what I'm doing here. I hope you can anyway. I'm just joining the outlet pipe, and then when this is done, all the piping will be connected. I've then got to join all the piping underneath the cabin to go to the outlets, down to the drains, etc, etc. Toilet here has got to be connected up to the macerator properly, so I've got a water flow to go into that. But yeah, it's getting into the completion part now. Wait, just get ready now. Let's push that right in. That one goes in there. Let's tighten that up. Nice and tight. Right, that's on. Let's get the sink back. Job complete. That's the outlet now, all done. Just got to do the water feed now, and that's it. I'm at the moment I'm joining the pipes that are going to be running down to the sewage outlet. It's freezing cold out here, it's like -2, but job ain't going to get done really if I just sit around waiting for the weather to improve. So I'll crack on with it now. The outlet pipe is now all connected up, starting right from under there. That's going from the toilet to the macerator, and going all the way down there. Electric cables in there too, so going all the way up there. So I've got to put the water cable, the inlet pipe, in next, which will be running all the way over there, and I will join up to the water connections in there, the taps and the shower, etc. So there you go, all done. I'm connecting the shower up now before I turn the water on. Been a right fiddly job trying to put this bit in here, but I'm hoping it's not going to leak. But all will be revealed in the time. Put the screw on there. Yes, we're coming to the finishing parts now, and shouldn't be long and it'll all be up and running. Nice and secure. A little bit more on that one. Yeah, I had a real hard job trying to put these little elbows in here, but got there in the end. I won't put the wires in just yet. I'll wait till I get all the water connected up and make sure. Yeah, one of them's not as tight as I would have liked. Is that one on? It's a real fiddly job trying to get in there. But if I get any leaks on it, what I'll probably do is bring the elbow out a little bit. But I don't really want to have any pipe showing when I fix showers and stuff like that, which I've done in the past. I don't really like any pipe showing. But sometimes, you know, it may be necessary to have a small bit coming out here, and you just see a little bit going in. But hopefully when I've done this and I've got all the cover on, you won't see any pipes. But you've got pretty easy access in there when showers need replacing and things like that. That's what I put this piece in there for. When the box goes over it, you won't see nothing. It'll be nice and clear. Right, let's connect up the water pipes. Here's the actual connection, what I've done with the two elbows. But I can't get that one, can't get my hands in there to tighten this one up. They're quite awkward to use because when you push the slide back, it tightens up in the wrong place. So I'm having a little bit of, I'm getting there. Hopefully it's not going to leak, but I'm not happy with this one. And I can't quite get in there to tighten it. I'll have another go. I'm putting the water pipes now underneath the cabin. And I've been using these so-called flexi pipes. Well, they're not very flexible at all. They're very rigid. The weather is a bit cold, so maybe that's why. I've done it all along now. So what I've had to do, I've had to put two of these elbows in here, up to the main line. And I'm going to stick these in there like that. So that sort of counteracts the trouble with the flexi pipes. They really aren't flexi at all. I bought these piping from Wicks. They're meant to be the lace straight. They're all spirally and all over the place. Really disappointed with the piping. It's really rubbish. There's no flexibility in them at all. They're just so rigid. So I've got round it anyway. I'm putting this piece in now, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I've got around the pipes because there's no flexibility in them at all, so I've just had to put this extra piece in and it should be okay. Hi, I am today turning on the water to the cabin, so hopefully we won't be getting any leaks, but I'll just turn it on now. And I'll turn the camera off the selfie mode now, and so you can see everything that's going on. Well, this is where all the pipes and cables is running, all the way along here. That's the sewage out that pipes, the cables, and the water in that pipes. Here's the main entrance for the water. So far so good, no leaks. As you can see, nearly finished. It's come along alright now. Better a bit tidying up in there. Right. Sink number 1. Let's check underneath first. No leaks. That's good. Here we go. That one's working. No leaks. Sink number 2. No leaks. Yay, looking good. This is the shower connection. I was a bit worried about that. I haven't put the air box on yet or wired it up yet, but you can see there's no water coming. So far so good. So now the toilet and the little macerator I've got connected at the back. Got a bit of tissue here. See, all the waste goes into the back there, and it's all plugged in, and it's all pumped out down that pipe. So let's try it. Ooh. Yep, I could hear the macerator pumping there. So what actually happens on the toilet, when you pull the chain, all the waste goes into the back of this device here, the macerator, and it's liquefied and then pumped down this 40mm pipe, because you can use smaller pipes when you're using a macerator, and it's pumped all the way along to the sewage system up to about 100 meters. So yeah, it's coming along quite good now, all of this. So no leaks so far. So far so good. And there you go. As you can see, I've got the flooring to do here, and these big lumps of wood I've got here, they're to build a fireplace, and there's the fire. I've got one of them opti-glow fires. You see, looks like I'm pretty, well, you see better when it's darker, but it's quite a nice fire. And that will be put inside these woods when I've cut them down to size. So all in all, yeah, not looking too bad. I've got the floor to do yet. I'm going to put a covering on the floor. So it's the covering on the floor, build the fireplace, put the curtains and stuff up this end, and I've got a shower curtain to put on, and the shower base, shower cover rather. Built this lip. The curtain goes on the other side of that. It's not properly dry yet. Only done that yesterday. But yeah, all in all, it's pretty much coming to the close now, and this project will be finished. Just put in the final touches on the shower, putting the wiring in, and then the casing on. Project's almost finished now. Double check that, that's fine. All wires are good. Right, putting the casing on. When putting the casing on, it's very important to make sure you've got these lined up properly. And just check the instructions. They're all in there. Get them all pointing in the right way, because if they're not, and you put it on, you're going to end up getting all the wrong settings when you're using the shower. Like you might get cold when you got it on hot. So it's very important to get these all pointing in the right place. So let's put that on there now. There you go, it's all locked on. Right. It's nice putting all the finishing touches on it now, because it's taking a lot longer to do the entire job, a lot longer than I anticipated it was going to take. Make sure that's all locked up. And a screwdriver for that one. This is only a cheap basic shower. I picked this one up at Wix, I think it's about 50, 54, 58 pounds, which is pretty good. You don't really need one. No, it's going to be too expensive. It's just not worth it. Bit tight this screw. That'll do. Yeah, you don't need a really expensive shower. One I had up in my house upstairs, we can go back a few years now. I think I paid nearly £400 for it. You know, all fancy flashing lights and colours and all that on it. But you don't really need all that. This is just a basic shower. I got one of these downstairs, my downstairs shower now, and I've had it for a couple of years. No trouble with it at all. 58 quid, can't really complain, can you? Right, let's get the rest of it put together. That's it.
At this point of time, when we are struggling with this scale of problem, whatever interventions we have, which are being tested in other conditions, I think we need to apply this to long COVID. And as long as people are improving, I have no complaints.
Barish, what do you think? Because this happened quite a lot. When
It's getting pretty late now,
long
yeah?
COVID doesn't really exist, it's not really a problem, we shouldn't be fixated.
Just finishing off.
I would say to all these individuals to come and spend some time in our service and look at the real problems which people are facing. At the moment, you're all busy managing the second wave. I think once we successfully manage this, then long COVID is going to be the next pandemic.
Job done.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, James.
For patients like John and Jerry, if you remember we spoke to right at the very beginning of the programme, these clinics really are a source of hope.
It was great to get the news in December that they were going to run non-COVID clinics. I think the whole...
Just doing a bit of sealant now on the shower base, and we're ready to turn on. Shouldn't take long. It's very late here at the moment. It's like 10:30 in the evening. Just do a small beading. And then done. Cables are all working now, everything's going well, so I'm trying to fill in the trench. Taking ages. Decided to lay the laminate flooring down now, and got some here. I pretty much finished the cabin, so I thought it was about time to get the flooring down, and pretty much done now. Shouldn't take me too long to do this, but I'll show you how the best way to lay laminate floorings. You should always make sure you've got your spacers, stuff like this at the back. Always put a spacer on there. And the reason you need spacers at the back is because you've got to allow for the wood to expand. I mean, wood, you know, it's damp, it expands, and when it's dry, it shrinks. And if you don't allow it room to expand, you're going to get buckles, and all the joints are going to be coming out. So, you know, let's keep the spacers in the back.
We are all somewhat abnormal, and the type of standard deviation, I think it applies, it's something in statistics, and we have a whole spectrum of the sun pattern, certainly somewhere on the.
But of course, you'll have when it's all done, you'll have all the little rails put around the end, so you won't actually see none of that. I'm using a multi oak effect laminate for this, and I think it's going to look quite nice when it's done, but we'll see. When going on to the second row, when laying laminate flooring, always use a different offcut, different lengths. Never have the same length or exactly half. Otherwise, it's going to give you that staircase effect. You don't really want that. You don't want to see where the joins are. And if you have all random different lengths when going on each row, it gives you more of a natural effect. So I put this one in here. Together. And you see they overlap. They're quite simple to lay. clipping in. And as I said earlier, always make sure you got the spaces things on there. Keep it up, so we'll give you room to expand. I'm going for this is what I'm actually laying. I'll show you. As you can see, it's like multi oak effect. It looks quite nice, the random ones like that. Got this one in here. You can see them. It's so hard doing the filming when I don't know what to film. Push it down. Yeah. The first few are always the worst to put in. Once you've had the first few in and you'll start tying in, it's a lot easier. I'm going to get a piece of wood, I'm going to bang them together so they keep them all nice and locked in. But yeah, so far it's looking quite nice. Quite love the effect on that. Making good progress on the floor now, so should be much longer and it'll be finished. Going to do a little bit of beading around the end, just tie it all in once I take the spaces out. But it's coming along all right. Quite pleased with it so far. These are the easy bits. The hard bits when you're going to cut around the sink and all that, which I've already done. But I say hard, but it's not been that hard. It's been pretty easy, really. But this is really quick. It doesn't take that long to do. I've done a few balls last night, and I'm hoping by tonight it will all be finished. Tiny little block here I use just for a gentle tap in. Make sure they're all in place. Yep, looking good. Is he finished now? Just got to do these little bits here. I've run out of light outside, I can't cut in the dark. And got to do a little bit of beading around the side. Put some tiny little buttons down the bottom. But yeah, I might get it finished tomorrow. I've got to go into town though. There you go. Looking good.
It's now 5 years since the disastrous Operation Midland inquiry was finally brought to an end, and 2 years since the bogus complainant, Carl Beach.
Put a little bit of the beading down on the flooring now. You don't always have to do that, but I think it makes the job look a lot more smarter and a lot more tidier when you put a little trim around the bottom there. And it's quite expensive though, some of these trims. I mean, I got this a £4 something a strip from B&Q, but I stained it myself. But you buy the ones already stained, they want like something like £12 a strip, just for 2.4 metre in length, and that's just like silly money. So yeah, I've got this one for £4 anchor strip, and stained it myself. So it looks a lot better when it's all down. When you're putting this down, you can use no more nails. But I'm actually using panel pins. I've got a lot of spare panel pins and that, and they're basically getting all the older than when I was out today. But yeah, it's looking alright. And being that I stained it first before I put them down, I am going to have no chance of getting any stains on my new flooring or on the wall. So it's a lot easier sometimes to do the staining before you actually do the work. That's what I found anyway. But the cabin's almost finished now. There's not much more to do. Oops, a little bit off track. I decided to put line this door mainly because the door's a little bit too thin, so when I'm going to put locks and stuff like that on it, this wood on the outside is just so thin. So what I'm doing, I'm going to reline it, which will give me a little bit more thickness on it, and I should be able to put all the handles and locks without having any problems with the wood being too thin. It shouldn't take too long to do. I'll be putting a trim around it when it's finished, so it'll look quite nice when it's all done. It looks quite nice actually, having all the playing. I was pretty stained, so it's a similar colour to the rest of the interior. It's only cheap, this stuff, pine. If you could a pack of 5. I'm only going to need about 3 packets. And I've actually got some laying around in the shed, so it ain't going to cost me too much. That looks alright. Not too bad at all. Just finishing off the inside door. I've got to put all the catches and the latches and all that on, but it's come along alright. Not looking too bad. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I've finished all the trim around the bottom of the room. I'll get it all tidied up tomorrow because it's an absolute tip. But I've also just finished the internal door. Put this latch on now. So I'm quite pleased with that. And tomorrow I'll have a good tidy up. Got lots of things to tidy up in here. Got to get all my tools out. I'm pretty much all done in here. I've got to get another door for on now. Got to get one of them concertina doors. And got to get a shower curtain to put on there. Got a few jobs outside to do, but the inside it's pretty much all done. I'm probably going to stain that tomorrow, give it a bit of protection. So yeah, pretty good. But I stained the door now, and I think it looks quite smart. I'm quite pleased with that. There's all the lock on that, isn't it? So yeah, it looks quite good. I've taken most of my tools out now. Just got a few in here because I've got a few other bits and pieces to put up. But yeah, well pleased with the door. I've double layered that. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'm pretty much all done in here now. I've done all the plumbing pipes outside going to the drain bit. So they're all going for you to my arm with. There you go. The shower. Nice and powerful, as you can see. All going well. Right, let's turn that off. Yeah, you seen the shower in action there. Right, that's the job done. Looks a lot better now. It's had a bit of varnish on it. A bit of wood stain, I should say. Yeah, it's dry in 30 minutes, so put the curtains back down and put the curtains back on there as well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I was going to check this old wardrobe out, but I've been given it a coat of varnish and I thought it'd be perfect in here. I've just had it in my back room all this time. It's been in there for years. But it's quite quirky, I think. It's quite nice. And I think it's too good to throw. So well, I'll just give it a coat of varnish and use it in the cabin. But I think it looks alright. It certainly it goes quite good in here, I think. So there you go. It's a nice piece of wood. It's very old, but you know, just giving it a little bit of varnish on it, and it's totally spruced it up. It looks so much better. Almost looks new. It's looking good. No idea how old it actually is, but it's been in my house for many years. It's got a nice shine to it now. think it's going to look really good in there. I've actually decided to put one of these concertina type doors into the bathroom. I couldn't very well fit a proper size door in here, so I've gone for this type, and I think it's probably going to work out okay. It was a lot harder fitting all the little pieces and that together than I thought it would be. Put one on good. Yeah, all the screws they give you with these packs, they're not really suitable. I only use my own screws, and I mean they're absolute rubbish, cheap weight stuff. So you know, when you get these kits, you pay a certain amount of money for the door, but you don't always get the hardware stuff properly with it. And the screws they do, they really are rubbish. The threads go on them, the tops go on them. It's not very good. Anyway, this is working out alright. I'll get this all sorted. I think it's going to look alright. It's all up and running. What I'm actually doing at the moment is connecting the magnetic catches. I've got the catches here. All I did, I just pulled it over like that, made a little pencil mark so I can see where to connect these up. Shouldn't take long. Right, that's lined up here nicely. Yeah, just dead centre. Always pre-drill those. Yeah, it's always best to pre-drill the holes because it will just split if you don't. And being that this is plastic, well PVC, can't fool with it splitting. Do the final bit by hand because it's PVC plasticky stuff and I don't want to over tighten it because it will split. Right, that one done. And to the next one. Right, I've just put in the handle, last of the handle on. They're just like push fit. Yeah, you just got two pieces of plastic, little clips you put together. Right, that's it. Let's see if it works. Seems okay to me. Job done. Just unpacking the bed I got for the cabin. It's a metal one, I'm not sure if it's It'll be any good or not. Made in China. But yeah, we'll see. Try them metal frame ones. Don't do packaging everywhere. It's more like a hospital bed. There we go.
About 2 years ago, about 2 meters tall, I suppose, in a lovely.
Shouldn't take too long to assemble. Good, not too clean, it is. Take a while to assemble. Was going to go for a wooden bed with slats and all that, but you know, sometimes the metal goes quite good with the timber. Just plain metal with the timber, not too much of the same thing. But we'll see. That'll take us to headboard. And take a long time. It'll take a long time to assemble all this, I think. I'll stop the camera there. I'll come back when I crack on with it. It's all unpacked now. Here are all the bits. And now for the fun part. Trying to assemble it all. I hate these self-assembly things. And here's all the instructions. Shouldn't take too long. It looks quite basic and that. Not sure whether I like it though, but once I've got it assembled, if I don't like it, I'll get rid and get a timber one in there. But for now, I'll just see how this one goes. It was cheap, so you know, we're all trying to watch the costs and all that. So here we go. I'll get it together now. Like so many of these self-assembly furnitures, the instructions they give you are never really that clear. I mean, I'm not great at doing stuff like self-assembly anyway, but they are completely opposite from what they say on the paper. And having already put this base together, I've had to take it apart because common sense prevails, as they say. And I've just had a proper look at where the supports underneath go, and he ain't going to be supporting much if you put them in the place where they say these poles go. So I've had to take them out and reposition them to make sure the bed has even supports in the middle. So far, not really liking the look of this bed at all, but we'll see when it's all put together. But I don't think it's going to be around for long, and I think it's going to end up being replaced by a wooden one, which I wish I would have got in the first place now. But there you go. You live and learn. This might actually look alright when it's up, but I'm not happy having to take it all apart and reassemble it. And my hands are freezing cold. It's absolutely freezing in here at the moment. I'll keep up in the Allen key. But yeah, it shouldn't be much longer now. And then I'll get the mattress on. I've got loads of bedding stuff lying around. And see how it goes. I might even spend the night in there tonight. Right, that's that done. Now I'll put the headboard on. There's my plate. Much better. And you've got the holes now in the right places to put the under supports in, so it don't go collapsing in the middle of the night. There you go. I've nearly finished now. Just putting the headboard on and then the bottom one, and then it's all ready to go. It's not looking too bad now I've assembled it. It's still not sure whether the metal one was the best choice, but it's doing alright. It's doing alright now. All Allen key work and nuts and bolts. So all out these days. Takes up quite a lot of room, but it's going to be put in the corner here, so we'll just see how it goes. The Allen key keeps slipping out of my hand. Right. Well, I finally got the bed up. It's not too bad. It's okay. So it takes up quite a lot more room than I anticipated, but yeah, it's alright. It's not too bad. And the supports underneath, they're completely different from the ones Tilly had on her bed. But yeah, that's much better. It's got more supports in the middle. So yeah, there you go. Bed is up. I've got some bedding on it, but I'm not planning on sleeping in there just yet. So fire, chair, that's about it. Just got to get rid of all my tools out of here. But that is the bed. Not brilliant, but it's okay. Cheap enough. Hi. Well, I've finally finished the cabin, and it's taken a lot longer than I anticipated, but it's turned out all right. So what I'll do now, this will be the last vlog on the cabin. I'll turn the camera around and take you down and show. Yeah, as I said, it's taken a lot longer than I anticipated it was going to take, but some things are worth waiting for, and it's turned out quite well. So here we go. In we come. Just lock the door. Put the camera on the door. Right, so here we are. As you can see, it's very cozy. Got the bed in now. Got the curtains up there. Here's a lovely log fire. That's my favourite part. It is really nice sitting there in the evening, just looking at the fire, listening to the radio. I might be getting a TV to put in here. I'm not 100% sure yet, though. So there we go. A little chair to sit in. Sort of a wardrobe tall-boy thing there. This is the kitchen area, as you can see. I had no trouble with the plumbing or anything. Got a pretty good water pressure there and all. Yeah, I really am pleased the way it's all turned out. It's taken far longer than I thought it was going to take, but like I said, some things are worth waiting for. So we're going to the bathroom area now. The only thing that's not finished is that I'm waiting for the shower curtain to arrive, which is not here yet. But shower on that, it's all working. As you can see. But I gotta wait. I've got to get I've ordered a shower curtain, but it's quite a good one. It's a frosted one. I believe it's coming from China. Let's turn that off. I believe it's coming from China. That's probably why it's taking so long. But yeah, everything is working fine. A little hand basin there, and I got the concertina doors, which I put on there. It was the only sort of door that would really fit in this bathroom. And of course, the toilet. The Macerator, which I've told about earlier in the video, is turned out much better. I've never used a Macerator before. It's this little device at the back, and it basically enables you to use a toilet in places where you wouldn't normally be able to. And what it does, as I said earlier, when you flush the toilet, all the waste is liquefied in that box there, and it's pumped to the sewage system. So I got all the piping going, as you saw earlier in my video. All the piping is running to the sewage, and it's all buried under the ground now. But it's very nice just to come in here in the evening and just to chill out. I'm not sure what I'm going to be using it for yet, but I'm not really sure what I'm using it. It's just a place to chill out in the evenings. I might be able to let it out in the summer for the Airbnb or something. Make a little bit of extra money, and I think it'll go quite well as well. It gets a bit cold in here in the evening though, but I've got heating in here. I've got another radiator as well to put in. I've got a little Eiffel radiator which I'm going to put down there, and yeah, I might spend the night in here and have a little sleep in there, try it out, make sure it's all working well. I had to double layer the door because the door was a bit flimsy, so I figured it up, put some fittings on and all that. So there you go. It's all finished. It's taken like ages, but I'm so pleased with it. I'm just sitting down now, and it's just a great place to chill out. It's very nice and peaceful. And in the night, it's daytime now, and it's freezing cold still, but in the night you got all the curtains drawn. Make yourself a nice hot cup of coffee and just sit down in front of the fire, listen to the radio, and it really is a great place just to chill out. So that's it. Cabin project is now finished, and now I've got to sort out all the video footage, which is God knows how long. I don't know whether I'm going to put it in one video or lots of small videos. I think a lot of people would probably rather see it in one video, but I don't expect anybody who's going to want to watch the video. It's probably going to be a few hours long, but we will see. Yeah, flooring in. I forgot to mention the flooring. I've used this laminate flooring on here, and I've got an underlay stuff on it. Keeps it a little bit extra warm, and it pads out any unevenness on the floor too. It costs quite a bit of money to do all this, but like I said, some things are worth paying for, and this was one of them. And during lockdown, it's helped me to keep my head together, because it's been really stressful for me all this lockdown. I've been able to go out and get back with my family in the Philippines and everything. It's been a very stressful time, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. Probably going to start another project outside. If I've got any money left, that is. So that's it, all done. Final look, and that is the end of my cabin project. Thanks for watching.